I'll be ranking every single Kingdom Rush Battles heroes from the worst to the best. There is a lot of interesting takes I have, so watch the video till the end and let's get into it. So let's start off with one of the worst in the game at the moment, which is Yria. She was really strong when the game was actually in front of us. She was like the double of what the stats are in Yria right now. She was really great, but she got pretty nerfs and now she's being buffed again. She's still okay to use in just first few arenas of Silver Oak Forest in my opinion, but she is definitely gonna get hard countered very much easily. So that's the reason why she is one of the worst heroes to play in the game. The next one we have is Sir Gerald or Ignavar. Now here's the thing, Ignavar is pretty great, but the cooldown of the bear ability is very long and it can be just used as one-time thing. You use it, then it's basically getting activated like 2-3 waves or something, which is actually really annoying to face, which kind of put him in a little bit down to his potential, but he can still do great stalling compared to Gerald. But Gerald is just average in everything in my opinion, so he's gonna stay up in C+ tier in my opinion, and Ignavar is also gonna be somewhere C+ tier, but depends on what you're trying to find. If you're trying to find balanced playstyle type of hero, I would say Gerald might be a better option. If you find stalling enemies a bigger priority, rather go for Ignavar because Ignavar can do a phenomenal job when it comes to stalling enemies. The next hero we're gonna take a look at, and this is where tier is shifted. This is from where you will see the heroes being a little bit more better than what you saw so far. So let's start off with Vesper. Vesper is better version of Yria in my opinion. Vesper is still great. He's a B tier hero, and in my opinion you can use him probably in many of the strategies, but he's still kind of niche as you will need to micro him a lot much more. And after getting good buffs, I think he is quite more usable than he was before, but he's still not the best hero in the game. But there's not much you can talk about Vesper. I would love to make videos specifically for each hero, making great decks for each hero and sharing it all of you guys, which I'm of course planning, so stay tuned for that. But for now I would consider this is a very niche character in my opinion. You can use it flyers and it does a great job of somewhat a great job what Ultra Scouts before nerf could do. So I would consider Westpool to be pretty great hero to use overall, but still he's not the best. So let's get to the next one. Now here's the list of where the ground heroes are gonna come in. Let's start off with Ageion. Ageion is a very mid character in the game. I would say he is really great. His shield ability does a great job against the many situations, yet I think he's pretty slow. He can tank pretty much well enough, but I do not think that is significantly really good to use, because as you go much more further, just stalling is not part of the plan, and his ability sometimes can be more annoying to your side if used on wrong timings. And those are few factors which I personally feel I get to see against or even using Ageion. Ageion is not bad, but he's not considerably good that you would always use him. Okay, so as we go much more further, here's the reason I will say Hacksaw and Grawl. Both of them are ground heroes. They can attack on air, I'm pretty sure. And with it, Hacksaw is really good with his insta-kill, nearly insta-kill ability is now back. It is pretty great, I'm gonna be honest. It deals a decent amount of damage, if not insta-killed. And if it is an insta-kill, you just got an insta-kill. But moreover, I will find Hacksaw more fun to play, but Grawl technically more better because he is probably the best ground unit in my opinion. Yet he can be pretty tricky to use against, because sometimes if you're not great with microing, especially these ground heroes, your heroes can just die as a bait. Just for an example, you forgot about microing them, they're just gonna stand there like a few enemies who can attack in range is just gonna melt his health down, putting those heroes in a very bad position. But that's a skill thing, to be honest, to say the least. But moreover, I find Hacksaw more fun, Grawl more better in terms of the performance he provides in the game through his abilities. Those are the reasons why I will say these two heroes are pretty tight with each other, but there's just a little bit fun side on Hacksaw. I find Hacksaw really much fun to play, while Grawl, I find him great to use, but I don't find it the fun part in playing Grawl. This is where I would consider A and borderline S tier heroes start. Here is a hot take of mine. For me, Dierdre is borderline S, and I have my own reasons for it. Maybe people think Dierdre is too squishy, but in reality it's nothing like so. Dierdre can tank a lot much more than Yria, Westpool, and even Elora. Elora can be countered very much easily. All you need is one musketeer tower or one archer tower to just drain its health down, or even the ghost booster which you can get, or the troll zerker. Any of those things you can just use against it and it will basically draw down all of the health Elora has. I think Elora is the one who has more counters in the game compared to Dierdre, and when you think about Dierdre, she fits into the most of the decks in the entire game. She plays the role of a synergy in no matter what deck you use, whether that's the defensive deck, whether that's an offensive deck, whether that is a balanced deck, it works everywhere. Dierdre is a very skillful character or hero to use in the entire game, and is my personal opinion says. She can be very much tricky to play too, as when she gets hard countered, when she gets sniped by the opponent, place where I will start using barracks to protect her. You can just put up a barrack in front and that would be enough to tank, and even Dierdre can heal them, so that makes a lot of difference between both of the characters. But in terms of damage and overall perspective, Elora might be a little bit better than Dierdre, but in my personal opinion and my playstyle, I find Dierdre definitely a borderline S hero. But as for Elora, I would say she's A tier for sure, A tier plus or high A tier or something like that. Dierdre is just standing up in A, somewhat similar to Elora and even maybe borderline S in my perspective. I won't say it would be great for you too, because everyone has different playstyles, different strategies in their mind, and this is how I work with, and I find Dierdre really much better in the game. Especially the part where Dierdre is very much flexible with the amount of damage she deals, the support she does, and even the microing speed is pretty medium, which makes her pretty much fine in every single case in my opinion. This is the part which we all were waiting for, the dragons. Now let's be honest, there are two dragons in the game, Eiskalt and Ashbite. Ashbite got a huge nerf last time and Eiskalt also got a nerf, but now both of the characters are very much counterable. If you don't believe me, I have defeated many players with Eiskalt and it has been working out pretty much well in my opinion. Yet you do need skill. It may make things harder for you, but I'll be breaking down all of that in my further videos as I show my guides for each of the characters, making you master each of the character in the game in the best way you can, so you can just level up your entire gameplay. But I won't talk much about that. Dragons can be hard countered. All you need is Musketeer plus Dierdre in my opinion. But there are many parts where now dragons can be countered, as Ashbite no longer has an armor, which makes things pretty much easy to counter him by just killing the Ashbite as soon as possible, which makes things a lot much more easier for you. But Ashbite can still be countered by just placing a barrack unit in a place where you're not gonna pull off your hero at a specific location, or you can even hope to get ambushers just against a dragon user, and that would be so much more better. we all can imagine. Yes, I believe Ashbite is a little bit down compared to Eiskalt. Eiskalt is still a little bit better than Ashbite, but Ashbite is S tier, and Eiskalt is again once more in just his second appearance in Kingdom Rush Saga. We see Eiskalt being number 1 for the second time. As a Dark Army fan, I would consider that as a win. As for Ashbite, he is quite more counterable compared to Eiskalt, and even in terms of damage, I believe Eiskalt just outperforms Ashbite, so that is one of the main reasons I would consider Eiskalt is the best hero to use in the game. I have not faced the level 12 Eiskalt yet, so I cannot say much about it, but still I will say Eiskalt is the best. But there are very few ways through which you can actually counter him, so that is one of the reasons why I will place Ashbite a little bit below Eiskalt. But both of the dragons are quite broken, especially Ashbite's Meteorfall ability, which is quite too much damage dealing. I think it got a nerf, kind of a nerf, and even Ashbite got a nerf, but he's still pretty much powerful. And to be honest, I don't mind it, but they should be nerfed. If they are nerfed, it's just going to be better in some sense. I would consider it will make a game a little bit more fair, but it truly depends on the opponent too. But moreover, this was the entire tier list for me in Kingdom Rush Battles so far. Let me know what your thoughts are. What's your favorite hero in the game? Personally, I find all of the heroes a lot much more better in the game in terms of their balance. There isn't something which I find broken at the moment at all, unless there is a strategy which I find which is broken. As far as I think you need skill to even win with any of the heroes. It's not a no skill win if you have a Eiskalt or something. Unless you're facing a bot, it changes a lot of perspective, but as far as you're not having that, I think skill matters. Balance is very much good with the game, and I'm really happy with that, as Dowser always tried to take notes of what balance changes they would like to do in the next few updates and so on. I'm really much happy with that decision. But moreover, thank you for watching this video. Subscribe, share, and keep on rushing.